What's going on, everyone? MikeO back. Figured I'd do another one of these showcase slash rummage videos. Had a lot of fun with the last one I did. So why not do another? Today I'll be taking a look at some of the PSA DNA baseball cards in my collection. These are cards that have been slabbed by PSA. Autographs have been certified. Acquired them in different ways. Some of them I bought already holdered. Some might have bought the autographs raw and got them encapsulated, and others, maybe I got them in person or TTM and got them slabbed. So really excited to do this video. Appreciate everyone who joins live, everyone who watches it archived. Should be fun. I can tell you there probably won't be any Phillies cards, which some people might enjoy. Those are going to be off separate, and there's none of my Allen and Ginters either. They're off separate. So let's take a look at it. I got two boxes here. One is partially full, and the other one should be just about full. I believe these boxes hold 50 cards. So let's take a look at what we have here. I don't remember exactly what's in each box, but like I said, obviously I do have an idea. So we'll start with the ones on the left side first, and we'll see. The stand might not work perfectly. Well, we could lower it a little bit. We'll see how this looks. You can always adjust it. All right, so let's go in the first box here. We've got a Kyle Hendricks, autographed in blue. Kyle Hendricks, big member of that Cubs team that won the World Series. As you can see, it's a blue flip. Most of these will just be the generic kind of style, the PSA DNA, where it says trading card. Like others, I'd prefer the actual card make and all that. I think that looks a lot better on the flip, but it's kind of cost-saving to just get it done this way, and that's what I always did over the past. And I really don't get autographs graded either. I'm just not into it. I kind of don't see the point. So that's most likely what you're going to see is mostly ones that just say trading card. But nice Kyle Hendricks. I actually had two of these at one point, and I sold one off after the World Series because they went for big money, but this is actually one that I did acquire via TTM, so really nice Kyle Hendricks. Let's see what else we got here. We got Michael Wacha on a 2013 Bowman Draft Picks and Prospects. Wacha was a big-time member of the Cardinals there for a while during one of the World Series runs, but injuries have somewhat caught up with him pretty good. So this is actually one I purchased. I'm pretty certain I got this one well below what it would even cost to get it slabbed. So that's one of the reasons I decided to add it to the collection. So that's a Michael Wacha. This is definitely a TTM. This guy's been a legend in the TTM community for a long time, Wade Boggs. I'm not sure how he's doing with things right now because I know he was one of those guys who kind of got ruined for a while because people would send him like a dozen cards and like a $5 bill for a donation, and that's obviously unacceptable, but he would sign for years for charity for the Children's Hospital down there in Florida. So here's a nice Wade Boggs. Looks great in blue. So I certainly have a bunch of Wade Boggs autographs I acquired via TTM for a while, including this sweet one here. Absolutely awesome. Just a beautiful looking card. Gotta love the photography. So nice blue signature there. Wade Boggs. Looks like we got a run of Wade Boggs. Here's a Stadium Club from a couple years ago. It's probably 2015 maybe. 2016. Yeah, 2016. So anytime you can add a Hall of Famer to the collection at a very, very reasonable price, when you consider how much it would cost to get autographs done at like a show or something, I mean, $5, $10 a piece as a donation is very nice from Mr. Boggs. So it is a shame that you had people sending him like $1. I mean, you'd hear horror stories of someone sending 4 cards and $1. Just, I mean, come on. Here's an old Gypsy Queen card from a few years ago. Looks nice. So some sweet Boggs action. Here's one I definitely just bought cheap. This was like a COMC purchase a couple years ago. Dontrelle Willis. Probably only a couple dollars. Dontrelle Willis, for people who don't remember, since at this point he hasn't pitched in probably getting close to 15 years. I mean, he had a couple unbelievable seasons. Got to see him pitch a lot against the Phils. But, just didn't have that traditional wind up or throwing motion, and didn't really have an extended career, but was really good there for a while. So thought it was neat to add one of his autographs. Go through phases where I'm really into the Slabbed, the auto stuff, the non-pack pulled, and then other times I'm buying the pack pulled, but they're all awesome, right? So here's a 2011 Topps Diamond Stars Buster Posey. Nice blue signature of a fantastic catcher who's had a great career. This is actually a nice one. I forgot about this one. I bought this one a couple years ago when he was struggling. It's a first Bowman Chrome card, and it's signed. Obviously, it's not one of the pack-pulled ones, which are, first Bowman cards are one of the most sought-after cards, the autographs in the hobby right now. But this is a IP one, but looks cool. But yeah, just showcasing some cards in the collection. Nothing here is really stuff I'm looking to move. Here is a Clayton Kershaw, who at one time was a great signer as well. This is an All-Star Game Topps card. This is one I actually purchased, I believe, because I wouldn't have gotten an All-Star Game card signed, but it's cool. Future Hall of Famer. Here's a set that I'm a big fan of, the 1992 Score. These All-Star cards, just something I grew up with. So I would love to put together this set at some point. That'd be pretty neat. I know I have a few of them. I have Boggs and Joe Carter. I actually have the Griffey, so not actually that many more to grab. So at some point, would love to do the NL and AL sets. Just kind of goofy cartoon cards, but pretty cool. Ruben Sierra, big-time power hitter there for a number of years. And here's another one. Cecil Fielder. Had a couple monster years there for the Tigers. Was a big help to the Yankees for a couple years as well. And, of course, his son, Prince, had a really nice career. So nice Cecil Fielder auto. Here we go. This is a reprint card. It's a Bobby Thompson, PSA DNA certified. This is definitely one I bought. At some point, I was probably buying some stuff from one of the auction houses there on eBay, and you get that combined shipping, and if you see bargains, you pick it up. But Bobby Thompson is a sweet card there. It's a nice one. Tom Glavine, 1991 Fleer Ultra, signed in black. And I want to say this is most likely one that I got in person way back around 1991, 1992, when I was going to Phil's games and, getting some autographs from some of the opposing players. The Braves used to be really good signers back in the early 90s. Then they got really good and didn't sign quite as much, but really cool. Hall of Famer Tom Glavine. What's up, Dustin? Appreciate you stopping by. This is a Duke Snider. 2015 Topps all-time fan favorites. This one's actually graded a Gem Mint 10. This was a purchase. Looks awesome. Blue signature with that background. Here's another one. Another Score All-Star card. Wade Boggs. They actually look really good signed. Plus, you got that nostalgic feel if you grew up collecting these cards in the early 90s. So I know some people dislike these cartoon cards, but I'm a fan, and when you're collecting, you got to collect what you enjoy and like and not worry about everything that everyone else tells you to collect. Here's Jimmy Key on a Baseball's Finest, 1993 Topps Finest. One of my favorite sets. Not necessarily always the best for autographs. Some of them are dark. I mean, the Jimmy Key looks all right. It might not look great on camera because of the glares, but definitely a sharp looking card. So happy to get that. Jimmy Key's always been a fantastic signer as well. How about Buck Showalter? It's on an O-Pee-Chee. What is that, 92, correct? I think it's a 92. Yep, 92. So, signed in black. He was always a good TTM guy as well. I don't know if he signs now. I mean, back when he was managing the Orioles, he was really strong. Here's a cool card, 1990 Topps, Frank Thomas. PSA DNA with the Hall of Fame inscription. It's an interesting card there with the collegiate uniforms on. Cool card. I always really liked 90 Topps. Always a fan of that set. So, really nice one there. I'm going to start tossing a few of these cards back in the box so that when some of these start shifting inevitably, they won't shift too much. All right. We got a 1989 Topps Andre Dawson. This was another TTM. Andre Dawson, really clean signature, really good signer. Believe he's donation required, but it's fairly small. I mean, you get some of these guys that are like $10 or less. It's tough to beat that. So, nice Andre Dawson. There's a Phil Rizzuto World Series Heroes card. Signed in black. Would certainly pop a little better in blue, but this was a signature acquired later in his life. Fantastic player, fantastic announcer, and actually had a family member get this for me at a wedding that they attended that he was also at. So that's pretty cool. It's definitely a nice card to have in the collection and has some family ties, so that makes it a little more meaningful. So Brooks Robinson, signed on a Topps Archives card. So black signature with the Hall of Fame inscription. Beautiful Brooks Robinson. There's another Jimmy Key on one of the best sets of all time, 1991 Fleer. Now, I'm not saying it is one of the best sets, and it's obviously a cheap set, but a lot of people don't like the yellow borders, but the yellow borders, this set works great for autograph cards. It's cheap, and the signatures just pop in blue, so I actually really like 91 Fleer overall. You know, if a company put out this set today, people might not love it, but I think it looks great. I think it's fantastic, and it has a use. I mean, you buy one of these sets for like $5, you can probably find 50 or 100 cards you could get signed, so it's pretty neat. As you can see, we're going to have a few Jimmy Keys. This is awesome, too. Another underrated set, 1993 Upper Deck. Beautiful photography, bright, vibrant colors, lends itself really well to autographs. So for people out there that collect TTMs or in person, or they're looking to put together some autograph sets, 93 Upper Deck's one to consider and look at. I mean, again, it's not an expensive set, and just autographs look great on it. There's always options in the hobby. You can do the pack pulled stuff. You can get whatever cards you want signed in different ways. A lot of ways to collect. So here's a first Bowman, Brendan Rodgers. I think this is from 2015. And Brendan Rodgers has been, I feel like he's been a prospect forever. I guess it's really only been 3-4 years, but I know he's been highly sought after by autograph seekers in the past, and a lot of people have expected big things from him, so we'll see. I'm not sure on the Jimmy Key. I mean, I know his address was down there where the hurricane hit bad a few years ago, so I haven't actually paid attention to Jimmy Key in the last year, but at one point he was a great signer. Here's a really nice one here. I'm a big fan of this. Burke Waldron. He's the guy who actually threw out the first pitch in Seattle for the Mariners. And here's a little information there. And this is actually a custom card I made up for him. I had been in contact with Burke, emailed back and forth, and he had a Topps card that came out, and he was signing them. And we had talked, and he was interested in having some cards made up of him, so I went ahead and made him a couple different customs, Sent them all to him, asked him to sign a few for me, send them back, and then the rest he just distributed to people who had requested it. So you see the World War II 43 to 46 inscription. So beautiful looking card, and I'm a big fan of it. And here is the Topps card, the first pitch Topps subset from a few years ago. Signed one of these for me as well. And I really only got them slabbed because I thought they'd look great slabbed. They had meaning to me personally, and I just thought they'd be awesome to have slabbed in the collection. If you're worried about just value, obviously they're not, big value cards, but they're pretty cool, so I'm happy to do it. Here's a Greg Bird. Obviously this guy, a lot of talent, just can never, ever stay healthy. But here's a Bowman rookie card signed. This one came from my buddy Jason out in Arizona. You do a lot of graphing, spring training. Got a little shake there for a second. That's from kicking the table leg. So when you're doing a live video, don't kick the table leg if you don't want shake in your video. But here's a cool Greg Bird. It does look nice, but it's just a shame that he has had a lot of trouble staying healthy. All right, next up, this is I don't know what this is. I guess this was a purchase because I never got Freddie Freeman in person, but a 2011 Top 60 Freddie Freeman PSA DNA. Pretty simple signature there, FF5. Freeman, a really good player. It's an Alex Gordon on a Gypsy Queen. Had a lengthy career with the Royals, part of some big-time Royals teams that went to back-to-back World Series. Kyle Schwarber, member of that Cubs team that won the World Series. It's an opening day insert. Really big fan of this Goose Gossage on the 90 Topps. Well, the 90 Topps design, this is from Archives, but looks great. Goose Gossage has a really clean signature. The blue pops. So, tremendous looking card. That's one of the reasons I like PSA DNA stuff and in person or TTM autographs. You choose the card that you want signed, so they can look great if you like the design, you like the photo. So here's an Andrew Jones walk-off winners. So really nice card there. Another one of the nicest signatures in the business, Will Clark. Big fan. One of the sweetest swings as well. And as you can see, it's another Score All-Star card. So it's a really nice one there. This one's from, I guess they did these in 91 and 92. So, beautiful looking card. There should be more Will Clarks coming up at some point. Here's another great TTM signer, Carl Erskine, former Dodger. Obviously, Carl Erskine wins Game 5, so pitched in a lot of big games. So, nice signature there. Here is a Brett Butler, another one of these Score All-Star cards. I was a huge Brett Butler fan when I was a kid. Here we go. Here is a Garrett Cole, Ballpark Heroes signature collection card. This is actually another one of my customs that I never filled out the back. I haven't really done too much of the custom work lately, but always had a lot of fun doing it. And I actually had a few of these I threw in my bag and brought with me when I was on a trip in Colorado. And Garrett Cole was signing autographs. There really weren't a ton of people there. And I didn't have cards for the players, so I just gave him one of these and got it signed. Garrett Cole had a nice career with the Pirates and now with the Astros. This is a Tom Glavine on an 89 Topps. Nice blue signature. This one came from Garrett Card Cutter. I remember acquiring that in some sort of deal we made a few years ago. Here's a 2005 Topps Retired, Johnny Padres. This is a signature edition, so this is, I guess, a pack-pulled card, but it made its way into the PSA DNA box, so be it. Johnny Padres, fantastic pitcher back in the day with the Dodgers, the very first World Series MVP, pitching coach for the 1993 Phillies. There you can take a quick look at his career numbers. Really solid career. Especially look at 57, led the league in ERA. So, really nice one there. John Kennedy, not the president. Pretty sure this is just something I bought. It was probably a couple dollars and thought it was a neat addition. And this is definitely one I got in person back in the early 90s, Tom Glavine. Back before he was on his way to the Hall of Fame and eventually in the Hall of Fame. So a beautiful Tom Glavine autograph acquired God knows how long ago, probably back in like 91. So that was longer ago than I'd care to realize. All right. Make a little mess with some of the slabs. All right, we've got a couple more stacks and then partial box to the right. Here's another beautiful Will Clark 1989 Topps in blue. Will Clark's still a fantastic signer, so if you want a Will Clark autograph in your collection, pick out a card, send it his way. Awesome. Here's a nice Clayton Kershaw Topps card signed in blue. Will Myers. It's from Topps opening day. Kevin Pillar, super popular in Toronto. This is a cool looking card. Nice auto there, big auto. So Bruce Bochy, he's always been a real good signer as well. Again, haven't paid attention. I've kind of gotten out of TTMs. Not that I wouldn't like to do it again in the future. Just when you get more invested in doing some of the card grading and dealing with vintage cards and all the stuff, you only have so much time to spend on the hobby. So I really haven't spent the time on TTMs. Here's a Mark McGwire 1987 Topps. That's his old signature. He had like an older style signature, and he's since changed it. His signature looks much shorter and different now. Just had a question in the live chat. Trading cards been their basic service, and it used to be blue flip. Now everything's a red flip with them, but you have to. It basically costs a little more money, I should say, to get the details of the card included. That's because they're authenticating the card itself and the signature. So over the years, I've generally speaking just gotten the PSA DNA basic service because the goal of getting the card slabbed was to authenticate the autographs and not really the cards. So that's why you'll see variations. But here's a Buck Showalter on a Topps Heritage card. Former Seinfeld star. There's another Jimmy Key. This is a Upper Deck. I think this was a Yankees set they put out. Yeah, Yankees Classics. So Jimmy Key had a nice career and a really nice signature. So all right, another stack here. Here we go with the starting lineup card. Matt Stairs, slugger for the A's. Had a few strong years for the A's. I started collecting his stuff a lot because of the epic blast he hit with the Phillies back in '08 in the NLCS off of Jonathan Broxton. What's up, Impact Player? Thanks for joining. So a nice Matt Stairs auto. And this is the opposite effect of the Phillies winning a World Series. This is the Phillies losing a World Series. Here's a Joe Carter. I always thought this was an awesome card. The Sports Illustrated World Series card. That signature there, that moment. November 1st, 1993, when MikeO, at about the age of 11, burst into tears as Joe Carter and the Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series. But that's an awesome card. And now I laugh about it and it's nostalgic. But at the time, wow, that was painful. Getting cards authenticated and slabbed by PSA DNA, It's all depends player to player. Some are 20, 25, 30. A guy like Mickey Mantle's hundreds of dollars, so they're all kind of different. Here is the former GM of the Phillies back in '93. He constructed that team. He was with the Phils for 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. Lee Thomas. So this is awesome. He was a player. He had a nice little career. And he, this is, I guess, after his first year where he had 24 homers and 70 RBIs. It's a nice Topps card with the All-Star Rookie Cup. So, really nice signature. So, very, very nice card. This is going to be one that if Bob Lewis watches this at a later point, I don't think he's watching live, but might bring a tear to his eye. Sid Bream. That's why I got Sid Bream's a guy who's always been a great signer. I think he charges like $1 per card and he gives it to charity, but I mean, this is a classic moment, best of the 90s. I can remember watching this. I mean, the Pirates were a fantastic team there in 90 and 91 and just couldn't find their way to the World Series and had their hearts broken by their former teammate, Sid Bream. Super slow, but somehow beat the throw, scored, and the Braves won the pennant. So that was a classic moment back in the early 90s, back in 92. So it's a cool card there. Here's a World Series winning manager, Ned Yost. I think he's a spokesperson for something. I can't remember if it's like Verizon or I've seen him on commercials. He doesn't even mention that he's a baseball manager. I think he talks about falling out of a tree, having a hunting accident. But Ned Yost. Glad to hear that the Colton Wong card arrived fine. So thanks, Falcon. Trey Turner rookie card. This was a TTM. It was a rookie from, I guess, 2016 Topps. Sent it out in spring training. He signed it. He wasn't really well known at the time and got it back. So it was awesome. What's up, Destemic? So nice Trey Turner. And last one's going to be Joe Panic. Well, last one in box one. I still have box two, which is only a partial box. But nice Joe Panic blue auto. This was another TTM success. Not really looking to sell any of these, just going through some of the collection. That's what I've been doing lately. I'd been wanting to do showcases for quite a while, and I just didn't get around to it. And it just, at one point, I was going through, straightening some stuff up and said, why wouldn't I just do these live? My phone doesn't exactly have the best storage space, so can't really record videos more than like 15 to 20 minutes and don't want to go through that process of too much editing with these ones. So just said, let's just go live and show them off and archive them and people can watch them later and comment then. Here's a nice one here, 1989 Donruss, Tony Gwynn, Diamond Kings. This was actually a recent purchase, maybe a month or so ago. Showed it off in a mail day video. So the Diamond Kings sets are gorgeous. The autographed ones are fantastic. So, beautiful Tony Gwynn. Here's a Jacob deGrom. It's an opening day auto. Cy Young Award winner last year. So, nice card, even though he's a New York Met. And it's another Jacob deGrom. This is a Bowman. It's actually at Citizens Bank Park, so I'm sure he's about to strike out a Philly who wasn't very good back in maybe, say, 2014, 2015. This was actually sent to me by Silver Jackify. It's a Gary Sheffield, and I guess he's one of these guys who back when he was a rookie had a bit of a different signature as well. His signature's evolved, and I think I forget where he said he got it, but there was one of those little certificate of authenticities that you kind of shrug your shoulder at. And he was, I guess, laughing about saying, he never really knew if it was real or not, but he acquired it and sent it my way, and I decided to send it off in a submission back when I was doing them, and came back authentic, so figured it'd be a part of the PC. If you guys are interested in getting cards slabbed by PSA DNA now, the group to go to is Slab City, run by Garrett. He's Card Cutter on YouTube. You can check it out. He does a great job. I've gotten a lot done with him for a while, so. My problem there, Dustin, is I have an iPhone. I don't even think you can do the storage. I think Apple rips you off and you can't really modify it. But I may upgrade at some point. This one's a couple years old. Here's a Rod Beck Flair Showcase. Beautiful card. Blue signature. Rod Beck had some great years with the Giants. Interesting character. Some interesting stories you can read online. Unfortunately, he is no longer around. But this is cool. I've always been a Samsung guy, Dustin, but I picked up this a couple years ago, and I mean, it's a great phone, and I got it at a great price, but there, of course, are limitations. Here's another Rod Beck. These were actually purchases. This is the 93 tops. The point of group submissions is basically you're going to get a better rate. If I sent this Rod Beck off on my own, and I just had this one card, I'm going to go ahead and assume he's about 25. That's a total guess, but that'd be my guess. So if I sent just this one card, it would cost $25 for them to authenticate and encapsulate it, plus $18 return shipping. So you're looking at $43 just for one card. Whereas if you send it off to someone else who does it as part of a group, and they might get a little bit of a better rate, maybe it costs you 15 and 4, maybe it costs you like 19, and that's just for one card. I'm sure if you did it with Garrett, he has bulk shipping discounts and stuff, so either way, you're going to save money doing it that style. Here's another Score All-Star, Ryan Sandberg, another awesome TTM signer, and a great baseball player, as he's a Hall of Famer. He has an interesting and unique autograph. It's pretty compact, very much together in this thick blue Sharpie, but it's at least it's unique. At least it's not like an RS. Yeah, I'm sure if he came up now, it would be. We got a legend coming up here. We've got Mr. Joey Votto. Those who followed the channel for a while know that not necessarily my favorite player of all time. Great player, really good player, just a odd dude. But this is a nice Bowman card. I bought this one already certified and slabbed. Or I might have bought it raw. I can't remember. I think I bought it slabbed already at a good price. It's a Don Mattingly. Another Flair. Flair had some really nice cards. Nice photos on both sides of the card. The blue pops well. Donnie Baseball. Be interesting to see if he finds his way into the Hall of Fame someday. It's a Sparky Anderson, 89 tops. Big 89 tops fan. I actually bought this one raw at I think it was at the Philly show, and submitted it right there with another batch of cards. So Sparky, well-known manager for the Detroit Tigers. Here's another well-known manager. It's Tommy Lasorda. Nice blue signature. Lasorda is actually from the Philadelphia area, so that's a nice one. There's a Trevor Hoffman, 97 Fleer. Actually bought this one probably for like $2. Raw, got it authenticated. Tim Salmon. Really good player. Won a World Series with the Angels, so definitely kind of one of those all-time Angels guys who I'm sure doesn't get the respect outside of Anaheim, but good player in his career. Yeah, Lasorda is a big Philly Fanatic fan. There's a 1990 Fleer Juan Gonzalez. Blue looks good. Here is Robert Manfred, Commissioner of Baseball. I haven't paid attention again lately, but he was one of those guys you could actually just send a letter. You didn't even have to send him anything, and he would sign an index card. And at one point, he was sending out autographed baseballs. I'm sure Baseball Collector, if he checks this video out, will like this card. Dave Winfield, Donruss Diamond Kings. I know he's doing the Dick Perez collection. This is a really nice Dave Winfield. And Yankees cards would be a fan as well. There's another Will Clark Score All-Star card. The last one I had was obviously from a different year. He was swinging. This one, he is standing there at first base. And a second Sandberg as well. So, big fan of the Score All-Star cards from the 90s. Get the rest of these out of this box. Not too many more, a couple small stacks to go. But appreciate everyone who swung by, checked it out. Be going through the rest of these. And then I actually have to get back to looking at some cards that I'm considering grading. It's a fun process, but also can be one of those processes you got to take a few minutes off from because, man, it can strain the eyes and aggravate. Here's a nice 89 Fleer Ryan Sandberg, signed in blue. We got Todd Frazier. Every one of these is actually already in a perfect fit sleeve. So every time I get the orders in, I always sleeve them up. Here's a Charlie Blackmon. This was a TTM. Not the greatest signature. Definitely a little streaky. It's black. It's kind of a dark card. But back before he had an enormous beard and was an all-star caliber player, I sent this via TTM and got it back. So turned out to be a pretty cool return. Perfect fit is definitely the way to go. I mean, I applaud people using anything, even if you use the bulky Ultra Pro. Just do something to preserve the holders. There's nothing more aggravating than buying some of these and getting them beat up. Some are TTM, some are ones I bought, kind of a mix of everything. This Charlie Blackmon is a TTM on the 2015 tops. But yeah, what is this? 2013 is rookie, right? Actually, it's 2011. So there's a little bit of the evolution of the beard. I mean, looks like a different guy. This is one I actually bought at the National a couple years ago in Chicago. There were these guys selling, they had like their own slabs. They did a lot of graphing, and they were kind of authenticating their own things. But I knew the Pudge looked good, so I actually picked it up and cracked it out of their case and sent it in to PSA DNA. Love the play ball. Redo design. I don't even know how to say it. It's obviously based on the old school play ball design, but it's a different size card and everything. But Upper Deck made that. And came back authentic. So Ivan Rodriguez. So Matt Olson. Bought this one raw. It's a first Bowman card. Bought this for $1 at the card show at a guy's dollar box and sent it in. He took off after that, and obviously this year he's banged up and hurt, but nice player for the Oakland A's. Here's a sweet 1950 Bowman, Bobby Shantz, signed in blue, Bobby Shantz. He, former MVP, he was with the Yankees and won a World Series, pitched for the Philadelphia Athletics, pitched a brief stint with the Phillies, all-time kind of classic player. There's some information about him. But he lives not very far away from me, maybe 20 minutes or so, and is constantly at card shows and signing, and he is a TTM legend. I mean, I remember one time, and granted, he's not far away, but I remember putting a letter in the mail like Monday afternoon. He obviously got it Tuesday morning, signed it, dropped it back off. I had it Wednesday. I was like, wait, what? How is it back that quick? So he's a great signer, but this is one I know I think I got this one authenticated and slabbed with Garrett over at Slab City, and wanted to get the details on this one for sure, just because it's such an awesome card. I'm a big fan of that. So looks pretty sweet. This was a purchase, I remember, Jim Thome. Sometimes you can get the PSA DNA cards pretty cheap at auction, but sometimes people have them up super expensive. Here's an Eric Hinsky. This one I got TATM. I did not tell him in the letter that I was getting it signed and wanted to get it slabbed for my Phillies World Series 2008 PC, and he made the final out when Brad Lidge struck him out. I didn't kind of mention that part, but Hinsky is a good player. He was a good role player there for a while, former Rookie of the Year as well. I think he was in the World Series 3 straight years with the Red Sox, Yankees, and Rays, if I remember right. So, and he was a coach with the Cubbies as well. So, nice Eric Hinsky. Here's a guy. We'll see if he performs. He's hurt right now. Hunter Green. This is a Stars and Stripes auto in blue. He's kind of a two-way player there in college, but the Reds made him a pitcher. So, picked that one up fairly cheap. And then one final stack. Looks like there's going to be quite a few Wade Boggs here. This is from Museum Collection, one of the art cards. Got that one signed. It's another thicker one from Triple Threads. Beautiful card. So obviously I went through the phase where I just couldn't get enough of the Wade Boggs autos, so I sent him a whole bunch of checks, but it all went to a good cause, so I had no problem with it, and he was super reasonably priced. It's a Tampa Bay Rays card. Tampa Bay Devil Rays with that rainbow action on the jersey. Here's another one that's pretty damn sweet. I mean, unless you were an 11-year-old in 93, then, you know, it's kind of rough. But this is an awesome card. I mean, in general, this is from, what is it, Topps Tribute. It's got incredible shine. It's got a piece of bat relic. It's got a beautiful photograph. It's got information. It represents an iconic moment in baseball history, and the signature looks great. So that is that's amazing. Even though, once again, that brought tears to my eyes back when it happened. But when your team finally does win a championship, all that stuff kind of evaporates. You don't hold on to it. But that was a crazy, unbelievable end. And here in Philadelphia, the other day, people were debating the Sixers just lost a playoff series in Game 7 against the Raptors on a last-second shot. I don't know if people follow that. I really am not a big basketball fan, but people were trying to debate, was that worse than the World Series loss? I was like, are you kidding me? It isn't even close. World Series walk-off's a lot bigger than a mid-round basketball loss. So, there we go. What's up, Aaron Jones and Hitman and Triple C and Mike J? Appreciate you guys swinging by. There's a few Beckett's. Not a big... Well, I absolutely trust Beckett, and I think they have amazing authenticators. I just really don't like their flips or slabs all that much, especially the flips. But here's an A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez. Topps insert card that was signed. So that's pretty nice there. Got a Ryan Dempster. Picked this one up, bought this one real cheap. But Topps Heritage cards are super popular among IP autographers, TTMers. One, they look great, and two, people like to build sets. So pick that one up. And then the final card from this little rummage is a Fernando Valenzuela from 87 Topps. Fernando can be a tough autograph to acquire, and I've been looking for a couple years to pick up an autographed Phillies card of Fernando Valenzuela. He pitched part of a season with them. He has quite a few Phillies cards that came out later that year. There was one on eBay for a while, but I didn't love the card, and the guy had a little higher price, so it eventually did sell. At some point, I'll pick one up, but there you go. That's a little look at some of the PSA DNA cards in the collection. I'll be back eventually with more of these types of videos. I still have tons of boxes of top loaders and slabs and autograph cards and rookie cards and all kinds of stuff. It's fun to show off some of the collection from time to time. If you guys tuned in late, feel free to check the archive. I'm sure it'll be up sometime in the next half hour or so. And I appreciate everyone watching. It was a lot of fun hanging out. Sorry I wasn't a little more active responding to all the comments, but again, appreciate everyone watching. If you're watching the archive, comment below. Let me know what you thought. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys